That's a pleasure, no? I want to thank Torah Anytime, Kavash Gacha Pratis, and Galaloshin, Rabbi Yosef Yafi. What's his name? It's an honor, my honor to have us.
No.
We have all the Chashav Yidden sitting here. Rabbi Yaakov Rahimi. It's an honor to have you with us, together with our other dear friends. And they tell me he's on Torah Anytime. What?
From the biggest on Torah.
From the biggest. I'm hearing, it's hard to believe, it's very hard to believe, I'm hearing that he's even better than me. So that's pretty good. Now I'm impressed. Even better than me. I thought that wasn't possible. But I see that with the Eibishter, even that's possible. Imagine, that's one of my big conditions in life. I want to tell you something. I'm not saying this is true or not, but there's a lot of guys out there. I used to think, now I'm not saying that I really used to think like that, but let's say, the other name, I used to think, how could there be a guy in the world worse than me? That's not shaykh. How is it possible to be worse than me? And now look where I'm holding. Now, it's possible to be somebody better than me? Is that possible? I would like to walk, to me, I'm like, wow, this is I want to make a shechion. I want to make shechion and find somebody better than me. Rabbi Yerucham says, Rabbi Yerucham Levavitz, I believe in Noach, he says this. Pasha's Noach. No, where should I go? Where we go? Here? Okay. Rabbi Yerucham says that a person, when he's working on Vayigbali by B'darkei Hashem, should believe there's nobody that's not better than me. I'm better than the whole world. Did you hear that? How do you say, what? I'm on the phone with broken people, all kinds of peklach, and I say, okay, you're going to say from now on, you're better than everybody. Huh? Ooh, how do you? That's Skyva. You can't do that. Now, I want to tell you something. These particular people are having trouble with their children. The children are chutzpahnik kids, 10-year-old schnooks, and the parents are grown adults, and don't turn them off, that 10-year-old kid. So look, what to do with chutzpah? Anyway, this I didn't mention, but because I don't think it's true over here anyway. If there is chutzpah among the parents, kids pick it up. Sometimes kids pick up when parents make fun of schools, of rebbes, They're not so respectful. I'm doing this for myself. It's all with the gears. I want to get something out of this. Maybe there, but it happens to be true. That sometimes, I once had a kid that the kid was, and the father used to send him to school like the Gadol Hador is your rebbe. And it shows. If you psych up that kid, that he's going to, his rebbe is a Gadol Hador, you're going to have a good year, thanks to the parent. And the kid was extraordinary. The parent is a little bit, the way he talks at home with his wife. The rebbes don't always know what they're doing these days. They really need, some of them I think need therapy, especially Rabbi so-and-so who had Moshe. And these kids, then in a couple of years when they say, they call up all the teachers, how come there's such chutzpah in my house? I don't want to say it. They have a good Rebbe. The father and the mother taught them how to have chutzpah. In the young years, they were taught. Whatever Rebbe does, Davka, authority. So now they decided, I think, whatever you do is also, I'm not so sure about. It's a fact, this type of stuff. You got to watch it. You got to be very supportive of each other. Husband and wife have to support each other. When nobody's looking, you tell your wife, what did you do? You think you don't know how to be a mother? You're out of it. No, don't say that. That's for sure. Or the woman tells the husband, what? How you're not? But in front of the kid, Tati's always right. Or mommy's, whatever. Okay, everybody has his own. Sometimes there's no clothing. Thank you so much. Delicious. Eibishter made mashke. One of the You know, today I was talking about potatoes. My wife happens to be a great cook. She's going to hear about this soon. You see, I'm Isaac and Shalom Bayis, even when I'm always Isaac and that. I'm going to come home, tell my wife said, what did you say? I said, you're the best cook in Lakewood. How's that? Isn't that the way to go? I'm talking, and thousands of people have heard about you. Rebbitzin, you are world famous. They all know about you. I said you're a great cook. Now, anyway, I was eating potatoes, and they were really good. And I said, thank you for those potatoes, especially for a wife who knows how to do the job. Okay, forgive me for being so gashmiistic, but what are you going to do with Yitzchak Avinu? Mat'amim asheru ahev? No. His favorite dish? Doila Tzvima had a favorite dish? No. Anybody want to answer me what shot in that? Whatever it means. Okay, anyway. Yebishter made such delicious food. I'm so overwhelmed with simcha that the Yebishter gives you a mouth and gives you taste buds and the ability to swallow successfully. I'm learning about Karbanos with my class, the Karban Pesach. And it's not just the Karban. I taught Mishnayos Talmud today. We learned, I think, the fourth or fifth parak, gory stuff. You open up the dead animal, rip open it, you take out the kravayim, all the kishkis, the intestines, and kids liked it. It was great. I taught them how now you know what's going on inside all of us. And I tied it, my shot in the carbon means it makes you close, karev to Hashem. It makes you close for, among other reasons, because you open up the hidden part of a human being that you don't see and you take for granted. Rabbi Yerucham Zatzal once said, every time you digest something and everything works out good, you should send a telegram that Baruch Hashem, everything turned out well. You know what the food has to go through until it makes its passageway to what's going on inside a human being. Every human being is an olam cotton with waterways and mountains and valleys and whatever. The human body is unbelievable. Every yachid is an olam malay. They just forget about just the physical, what's going on. With the liver, I explained the liver, what you need a pancreas, you need liver, and you need kidneys. And the lungs, and the beauty of the rib cage, and the heart, and the delicious world that we're in, the Eibishter's. And by a carbon, you open it up and you see that's what's going on 24/7. Say thank you. You want to come close to the Eibishter, see. Take a look. We're in Olam Choshech. Olam Hazard. It's a dark world. Nobody lives with the truth. You see people over there. Hey, it's a good guy. Want more people? Hey, look inside that person. There's a whole chasana going on regularly. As you talk to them, the heart's beating with the veins and the arteries doing nerve volume with brain. It's so delicious. The human being, it's so beautiful. It's so unbelievable. You got to talk about this. No other way. You got to talk about it and thank your head off. The Eibishter has nachas from this. He likes this more than anything. The Chavez Albavis, Shar Abachino, which Rabbi Miller was famous for. He was very heavily involved in these things. And the Chavez Albavis, the Mashgiach, Reb Nosson Wachtvogel told me, he was Aviyah boys from all the Musas farm. The Chavez Albavis. He is the father, said Reb Mechoba Weissmandel. It's Yitachin that the Rambam learned Chavez Albavis. No. Yeah. He was a Rishon's Rishon. He's from way back. He was almost one of the Gainim. He's from way, and he's a king. He's a man that Chavez Albavis. Open him up. You'll see what Yiddishkeit's all about. And in a nutshell, it means saying thank you. That's what it's all about. Say thank you day and night. Say thank you there. How do you think people jumped into the fire? Al Kiddush Hashem. The story, if I remember correctly, Chana and the 7 sons, I think it was the baby, when she told them, go jump into the fire like your brother's Bubble Aziz. Go do it for the Eibishter. Remember I taught you that he made the Shemayim and he made the Eretz. And he said, sure, mommy. I'll do anything for Hashem. He made us. What does Ramban say? When you go to shul, you got to say, Secha anachnu. We are your briyos. That's the main idea of everything. Say, thank you that I'm alive. Thank you that I can breathe. It's all Hashem, every breath. It's all the Eibishter. Thank you so much for being alive, for being well, for being a yid, for being an adam and not a vegetable and not a cockroach. I could have been a cockroach, you know. What's wrong with being a cockroach? Anything wrong? I could have been a cockroach. I could have been an ant. I could have been an elephant, also an interesting creature. I could have been one of those interesting. I could have been a stone. Yeah, could have been a stone. What you're zeicha to be a live human being and a yid at that. How thankful we have to be to the Tata and Shemaim. This should help B'tachon, by the way. This should help B'tachon a lot. Do you know I just got off the phone? Somebody who is suffering from severe anxiety all his life. I forgot to ask him his age. He's past 20, 30, that's for sure. He's not a kid. That's not important. He called me up 6 weeks ago, and I says, get involved in thinking and being positive and positive and positive. Change your way of thinking. And he went to the doctor. And the anxiety is mamish kamat disappearing. A lifetime of severe anxiety is disappearing. You just got off the phone now. My latest maifas, his maifas, my maifas. Grad, I think the Eibishter has a little shaykhus into all these maifas. He's a big maifas, the Eibishter. And anyway, look what he did overnight. All his life, severe anxiety. And with thankfulness to Hashem, and thinking and talking positive, and listening to these Torah anytime, and whatever, listening to all these things on Emuna, B'tachon, look what turned around, that he's constantly fighting and making himself happy despite his matzovim. I do want to say something about B'tachon. Now, the main thing about B'tachon is you got to be connected with the Eibishter. I recommend, there's one tefillah that somehow I feel it's the best tefillah in the universe. First of all, it's a big Inyan. I heard from a big Makubal, and from the biggest mashgichim of the world today. He loved the Eitzah. You want B'tachon? Daven day and night for B'tachon. Watch what happens. That's Stam and Eitzah. Daven for B'tachon. You'll get it. But I do want to say that the number one tefillah that I feel it's like not shayach. Eibishter, please do me a favor. Make me close to you. Because that's the whole reason why we have our issues, which bring us close to the Eibishter with our B'tachon, is because the main thing is you're getting close to the Eibishter. This world is transient. It's a transient planet. You ain't staying here. What happened to my father? I thought he'd live forever. Strong, healthy, good-looking person, a tzaddik. My mother, they're gone. Where are you now? There's another world. And if you spent your life working on B'tachon, whether you got, but again, it worked, it didn't work, it didn't work, you got to get B'tachon. I worked on B'tachon, I worked so hard on B'tachon, and it works, it doesn't work, it does work, it works. If you're working on B'tachon, it worked already. Working on B'tachon is a mitzvah. Rav Weinkrantz, that's how once told me. We had a whole ASIC over here in Lakewood. He said, working on B'tachon is a mitzvah. You think you're doing it to get what you want. It's a medium to get what you want. But it's an end. The fact that you're working, you're running to Him. Now I'm going to tell you more. I don't say my vettel so much, but this, I can't hold this one out. This is just unbelievable. I was thinking like this. And look at this. It says that they took Yosef's bones out of Mitzrayim. That's what it says. And it also says they went out armed. Machamushim. Who cares if they went out armed? It's like, what does that have to do with anything? They didn't go to war. a long time until they're going to be in Canaan. But it's not negay. They can't. They went armed. Who needs that? They remember swords and spears and weapons. They left Mitzrayim. Went out with javelins, with armor, with helmets, and they left Mitzrayim. That's how they left. Who cares? Now, I'll tell you something else. Just before Kriyas Yamsuf, it says, Hashem yilachem lachem v'atem tacharisha. Hashem will go to war for you, and you be quiet. One of them, version says, and you don't take those arms. Don't do nothing. Just have b'tachon. So now I got a bigger kasha. You're never going to use them. So what you're never going to use the arms. So what do you take them for? It also says they took out Yosef. By the way, they took out all the Shvatim. Why is Yosef mentioned? Because they promised him that. But there's something going on here with Yosef. Moshe Rabbeinu took out Yosef's bones from Mitzrayim. We need Yosef to go out of Mitzrayim. First of all, Yom Rov HaYonos. As soon as you get to Kriyas Yamsuf, and the Yamsuf sees Yosef's bones, and the Yamsuf remembers, even the Yam sees a tzaddik. The Yam knows, that's Yosef. Yosef HaYonos HaChutza, he ran away from Eshes Potifar. Now I'm going to run away to let the Jews walk across. The schus of Yosef HaTzadik and his Kedusha. You need Yosef. Yosef comes along. Just a friendly reminder, Rabbi say, work on Kedusha. Look at Yosef. And I would, of course, say, and work on self-esteem. Yosef was so full of self-esteem. You go, I have rayas. Here's my latest. There's a chazal. It says like this. Yosef entered Eretz Yisrael. He was buried. Moshe did not. Why is Yosef better than Moshe? It says that Yosef called himself an Ivri. Ivri means you're tough. You're on the other side of the Euphrates, whatever. You will take on the whole world. I'm Jewish, and I'm me, and I'm not scared of nobody. I'm different. Ivri is a very stolz, and it's a very, yes, I'm Jewish. They say Lubavitcher, when he was, I think it was, his life was in danger from the Nazis, and he refused to say that he wasn't religious. He says, I am. It was a risky thing he did. He got away with it. It was a big schus. Anyway, I'm Jewish. Get lost. And Moshe called himself a Mitzri. He told the Bnei Yisrael, I'm a Mitzri. No. You called yourself a Mitzri, you're not entering Eretz Yisrael. You're not going to be buried there. You call yourself an Ivri, you're going to go to Eretz Yisrael. You're going to be buried in Eretz Yisrael. Very big story. And I want to say something for Moshe Rabbeinu. The selfless, heilige Moshe Rabbeinu. Lamaisa, he ended up bringing Yosef and making sure he was buried in Eretz Yisrael, even though he himself wasn't. And that's typical of Moshe. That's Moshe. The selflessness. Although B'Shas Maisa, he was still hoping to go there, it doesn't matter. But the way things turned out, such a selflessness. Moshe Rabbeinu, such a selflessness. I want to tell you something while I talk about that, about eating. I had a Rebbe, Reb Gershon Lieberman. During the war, he left his food for people to eat. They were standing in line to get his food. And he wasn't interested in food. Don't ask me how he lived. He wasn't interested in food. Yeah. He used to dafke eat. When I knew him, he was here in Lakewood. There's hundreds of people crowding around to see him. And there's Rabbeinu Ratzeh Le'achol. Would you like to eat? Bevadai tzrichim le'achol with a stove. Of course you have to eat. He used to eat. Lombardi is eat. Have a hearty appetite. You must eat. Well, that's one of the shtick they have. They consider that a prat. They say, look, I'm not telling. I am. Some people are. When everyone's looking, if you're at the head table, watch how the head table nobody eats. Because they want, I'm gonna do that in front of the whole, no. So if you want an extra portion and you don't have enough, go to the head table. They're not eating. All these guys, they want everyone to think they're a malach. As soon as nobody's looking at home, open the fridge and get to work. But I'm joking. But Novanik, they hold the other way. You want to be one of those? Do it at home. But when people are here, can you piss that pickle, please? No, the fat one. That. Oh, thank you so much. Rabgesh used to do that all the time. One of his favorites, pratim. You know what prat is when you go against your fears of people. Pratim. Can I have that? Ooh, can I have a double? I was with Reb Chaim Mordechai Weinkrains, that's all, at a chasana. He invited me to come along. I was worried about Nana Masuda's chasana. He wasn't like, come, sit next to me. There was a small chasana in a Gerach Siddim. I don't know what we were schmoozing together. He was going to a chasana. He said, come on, sit down. I was watching the way he ate. He asked for a double. Can I have some more of that soup? Baruch Hachama, he did that on purpose. Can I have a double of that? Thank you so much. Hey, Reb Gershon. And he used to eat with gusto. He used to have a big thing like this and eat. And he ended up, most of it, whatever. But most of it ended up, I don't know where. But now they believed in eating. The only things I told you about the cornflakes. Cornflakes, dump it in the black coffee. I saw him. Whoop, and then on the chicken, on the soup. Oh, I forgot you. He takes some cornflakes in a tin can. He dumps it in my. I forgot you. Like, you gotta eat. But what kind of rules? Peas go with carrots. They don't like that. That makes you mitzumtzum. You know, you're back in Mitzrayim means when gotta be like this. They don't like. Come on, lately. I'm still an American boy. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say I'm one of them. But lately, I'm eating things that I normally wouldn't eat. You know, certain things it has to be eaten. This goes good with some bread. Otherwise, I can't. So lately, I'm doing it without bread, without this, and Baruch Hashem, I'm surviving. You know, it's at the end of the world. You eat it without this. I told the kids in my class, when you come home and your mother didn't put ketchup, Ma, how many times do I have to tell you? I know, Ma, put the ketchup. You put it right on top. I don't like it like that. You're supposed to have it like this. You know, kids, Americana kids. That's us. Ishkefels. But if you're not into that, it's much more relaxing. If you don't need to have much of it. Now, he would eat Reb Gershon. I heard this one of his Gabbaim. Rabbeinu, Hoachel Kamo Bachor. He was already 70-year-old. He's like a young Bach. He eats. He used to eat. You know that? Once I heard something, no, he doesn't eat too much, so little, he eats normal. Whatever. But he'd make sure to do it in public, that's for sure. But during the concentration camp, he didn't eat. People are starving all over the place. And he left his piece of bread that, he says, it's all yours. Here's bטחון. He wasn't scared. Every piece of bread was like the world's turning over. They had long lines to get his portion. Everybody took a piece. That was his regular mahalach. He used to leave over when he was back in Bialystok, so I'm not changing in concentration. That's my minig. You know what else his minig was? To learn Musaf B'Koil Ram. He did it in the concentration. And don't you figure out how he did that. And out loud, he found himself a machsan or something in a corner. And he decided, that's my base Avdidus. I'm not changing. Concentrating. And you know what's going on? I told this to my shver, he was a Hungarian, but I don't even think he was in a Munkataba, whatever it's an army camp. He couldn't believe it. Like, Siyata de Shmaya. Anyway, so he left over his stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you myself. Once he made a remark, I'm not eating that treifa stuff. They used to eat, the guys who were makel, if it wasn't the end or whatever, the food, there was good nefesh. And my shviga was in Auschwitz, and this Rov came in there, young girls, all from girls. He said, tell the girls they're allowed to eat treif. I know a big Rosh Yeshiva who, my parents, he ate treif. Gross nefesh. And the girls were told, my shviga would not do it. You know, that should be a schus for her. My shviga did not eat. She said she couldn't. I can't do that. Anyway, she was in Auschwitz and she didn't eat. Anyway, But, so, Chamushim, what? Good to have you around, Chamushim, anyway. So I want to just say this thing about Reb Gershon. Reb Gershon, they said, I'm not eating treif. They said, you're going to starve. They had this older lady who popped up, who was an excellent cook. One of these Hungarian cooks, the Nazis got a big fish. Oh, now we're going to have some decent food. One of these Jewish, these older Jewish ladies with years of experience stuffing up their husbands until the buttons are popping. What are those, who knows how to do the job, like my wife said I'm joking. Anyway, and they got her, and they made her the cook, and she found out about Reb Gershon, and she made him salads, and he had much better food than anyone else. She found out he's not eating treif, I'm making him salad. Nobody's looking. Reb Gershon, this is for you. That's something. There's another mice with him. He refused to eat. He's always giving away food. Once he was walking, and they like 50 people going out into the fields to dig a grave, and he was going with them, and suddenly the Nazi was behind him with his dog, He says, hey, you! Uh-oh, when they say that. And the Nazi took a bite out of an apple, and he said, hey, this is for you, for no reason. And he got an apple. An apple was, Kodesh Kadoshim. An apple, a real apple, wasn't shy. So he shared it with all the chevra. Anyway, Reb Gershon, I was told, when he walked, he used to love to go into the dining room and watch people eat. He loved to watch the way people eat. Reb Shamshon Folirsh says in this week's Parsha, the Eibishter loves to see us enjoying food. Do you know that? Now, eat with appetite. Give the Eibishter nachas ruach. SS, mein Kind. Look at this delicious food I made. I want to see you eat it. Reb Shamshon mentions it this week's Parsha. He loves to see Jews eat. Now I know where Reb Gershon got that from. He got it from the Eibishter. He loved to see. Let me watch these guys. Look at them eating. I love that. Maybe we'll someday get there. First, we'll talk about it. Someday, you never know. I might even enjoy watching him eat. I want to tell you a story happened to me, if I may say. All right, I was a little boy. I was 10 years old. And I was in Williamsburg. It was probably one of the first restaurants ever opened up, Hungarian restaurant. And Satma's, and I come in there, first time in my life, I know what I had, it was $1, whatever, I come in there. And there's a Hungarian young lady, says, would you like to eat something? I said, wilt etwas essen? Yeah. I had no idea. A bisschen goulash. And she gave me a thing like this, with greasy, gooky potato goulash. And she put it down with a smile. And I sat there. By the way, I was a good customer. And it was good stuff. Ho, ho, ho. And she was standing there. She looked so happy. Hungarians have a lot of, they love feeding. God Lagima, Reb Gershon is big into that. Give them food. To be makar of somebody, give them food. Anyway, they enjoy to see. They enjoy to make so. She wasn't Gan Eden. She had such a good custom. I ate up to the last. I was one of those. I had a good chinuch. You don't leave over. And you eat up everything. And I was very chashuv as a kid. I ate up everything. My mother felt so good when she put a plate in front of me. She had that feeling of satisfaction. Anyway, okay, Rabbi say, I'm going to speak about something that's very, 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 very important. Okay, first I was talking about Chamushim. Okay, they came in armed, and they came armed, and Yosef's bones come along. Now Yosef was an unbelievable b'tachon. Now a very funny thing happened. Just before the Yam Suf split, the Al-Shachar says the koyach of their b'tachon made it split. B'tachon caused it. That's chus. And he said, yes, so just before it splits, Hashem, Yilachem, Lachem, Batem Tacharishon. You quiet. And one of the Mefarshim says, you don't go to war with your arms. Let the Eibishter take over. So what'd you take along Chamushim for? Now, Yosef HaTzadik, When he was in jail for 10 years, he had an easy way, you can say it's mashgacha. Oh, Sarah Mashkim, and I just told him, and it's going to come true. Now, go tell him about me, I'll get me out of jail. What's wrong? For doing that, ishtalas kim zachartani, 2 more years in jail. Why? You shouldn't have done that. A big b'tachon like you shouldn't have done nothing. What do you see from this? That even if you have a hishtadlus, an easy one, you say it's min hashamayim. I want to go straight with you. Therefore, I want to teach Be'ezrat Hashem. V'chamushim, come along with all the weapons. And Lamaisa, don't use them. Hashem ilachem lachem atam, you be quiet. Put away those stupid weapons. Watch the Yevishah do the job. That's why they took Yosef's bones along. Remember Yosef? Remember what he did? When he was in such a high madrega that even that he lost 2 years because he should have been. Don't ask nothing. Just have b'tachon. Do nothing. So that's a limud for all of us. Rabbi say, everybody quit your jobs. I'm joking. Now I'm going to tell you what this has happened to me. Kama pomen. Now, I don't collect money. I don't go around collecting. And I'm not saying now, so maybe some guy will hear what I'm saying, maybe he'll give me some money. No, I'm not doing that either. I just don't collect money. Forget it. I'm not into that whole sugya. I need every week, I make $1,500, whatever it is I need for my B'tachon weeklies. I never, ever knock on a door. Because I decided, even though I'm a Novandiga, here I'm brisk. Briskers don't ask for money. Briskers wait, you bring it to me. My gaiva helps. I'm going to ask you for money. What if he's got to be home? I like brisk. I'm lazy also. It doesn't hurt to be a little lazy. Now I don't want to collect. Whenever I need money, I could be a little bit, concerned. They say, come on. I can do that once in a while. And Eibishter always gives me money. And once, what happened? Once more than once, I saw a guy. I know the guy. He's my friend too. He's worth 1,000 easy. And I could have easy standing right in front of me, Kel Shimshon. And I could have gone up and said, no, I'm not going to you. I'm going to him. And it always works. I think Hashem likes that. So I try to do these things. Anybody join me? Stop putting out some whatever you want and don't collect. Watch what happens. I'm telling you, I'm just as nervous as anyone else. Maybe worse. This is good stuff, huh? What is this? Coffee? Let me finish this 1 second. This is good stuff. What is this called? What is this, your stuff? Okay, let's get to work. L'chaim tevel shalom. My l'chaim is going to bring Yeshuas and shidduchim and refuahs. This Eibishter should help us all, that we should grow. And now my bracha to everybody is the following. Not this, that. Become bali b'tachon. You hakol hafach ba dekula ba. You have that. You have everything. Chaim tevel shalom. Now let's try this stuff. Also, though I'm leading this, I'm very makbid. Everybody has his chazal. That this is my chazal. Also, though I'm Yerushalmi. Also, though I'm leading this, if you didn't taste all those delicious different fruits that the Eibishter made. So I'm very makbid in that. That's one of my big. Everybody needs a mitzvah. That Rambam says everybody has to pick a mitzvah that's his. Come, you want some of this good stuff? Yeah, come, who wants? Enjoy. It's not shaykh. I know the other one's going to look at me funny. I think I'm very impressed that it looks like it's good stuff. Anything wrong? You're not supposed to do that? Doesn't pass for me to talk about food. Anyway, Eibishter made delicious food. I'm going to tell you something. Pare said, what? You want to go out of Mitzrayim? The men. You want to bring karbanis? That's just for men. Ladies, little kids, they don't bring karbanis. And Moshe said, no, babala. Ben Arena, Bizkaineni, want the little kids, the Meidalach, the Ingalach, the old guys, young guys, we're all going. Kichag, we're having a party. A party? Now, a guy only brings an oila. A guy doesn't bring a shlamim. You don't understand that our religion is fun. We're here to have a good time. We're here to enjoy the food. Go eat a shlamim. You roast that carbon pesach, it tastes like an Eden, as I'll say. And the guy smelled it too. It went out of the kalim. Us Jews have fun. We sing Hallel when we bring the carbon pesach. We're here for a good time. In Slobodka they said, Adam nevra elo l'saneg. You were created to have a good time. Did you hear that? Some people don't believe in that stuff. Thank the Yebus for his delicious food. You're not Yosef, says the ultimate Slobodka. You can learn Shabbos 24 hours. Don't put away the Gemara. If you didn't eat 3 meals, you blew it. You have to eat. How's that? Those Jews, Jews are good with food. You know that. The Jews are very into food. Chaim Tov L'Shalom, Simchas B'Al Yidin. Moshe Rabbeinu is giving parade. No, we're all going to have a good time. See, parade, kaveh leiv parade. Kaveh, you ever say, oh, too heavy? I know a friend of mine, he had trouble with one of his girls, so he called up the lady there in the high school who's in charge of, and the way he wants his daughter to be, whatever. And she says, too heavy. You got to be easy these days. You can't be so. You're too heavy. You ever hear that term? This guy's too heavy. You ever hear that? Guess where it comes from? It comes from pare. Kaveh leiv. He's heavy. Too stressed out. Lachatzenu, right? He's too heavy, pare. The word Mitzrayim means meitzar. Meitzar means it's you're locked in. And you have to go at him. It's all your life. You have to make it. You see, it's Mitzrayim. Don't be so heavy. Don't chill out. People, every guy I talk to, I tell them, don't be so. People have debts, Marshall. You know what they told me when I had debts in France? They told me that, what really bothers you? Your covet. Your covet is the real problem. So who cares if you had debts? So the guys will think you're no good. So what? So far from moon. You try your best. So that if you're puzzled, you think you're a bum if you can't pay your debts. It's covered. Let him think you're a bum. Okay? You can't. These guys never have such aggravation. And they're calling me up and I can't pay. What? Where's that aggravation come from? You know where it comes from? Loving covered. The same aggravation you had when your sister was off on Sundays. It's not fair. And you weren't. The same aggravation when your wife yelled at you because your cupboard's in danger. It's all cupboard. It's just another form of cupboard. You know that? You have to watch out. People can destroy you by the way they talk. The sichas chulin. You come on, Mendel, I heard you got into the yated. They say with excitement. When I finished the block Gemara, they don't get so excited. Why not? Because there's no covet. No one knows about it. Maybe if I finish Shas or something, you get a little bit excited. But he made it into the yated. You know that? Well, you know what they're doing to you when they say that? They're telling you covet is important. Just by the way they talk, they're killing you. They're giving you a culture that covet is dominating. What's the big... So you're in there. Mela, what is that supposed to mean? Well, you made it... It means you're getting covet. And people get excited over that. Because you got covet. Or, so-and-so, you're better than him. That's covet. Or, you got competition. So-and-so is also doing what you're doing. Competition. Covet! What's competition? We're all together with this. We're serving the Eibush. What do you do in competition? Okay, sometimes it's helpful. But usually, It's ridiculous. It's all redifas hakavod. Then I say from Tabakina, you get worse and worse. You're busy being jealous. Why is this guy better than me? And he has a nicer house. It's covered. Every move you make, it's covered. My wife has to look a certain way. We have a chashav yid, Rabbi Adman. He's giving out beautiful stuff. I just gave out your stuff. You know that? I just gave it out. What? Yeah, I just gave out here this stuff. I just gave this out. That's you, no? Is that you? Yeah. No, it's not you. Okay. That's you too. He's one of my he's one of my top men. Anyway. So now I'm going to tell you, there's every move you make. He can't pay his debts. You know what killed him? His wife messed him up. He married a woman that, until then, he was okay. Until she messed him up. Or until he had that kid in his family, he was fine. But that kid messed up his life. He has 10 kids with lots of knockas, but one boy, that messed him up. Or his wife. The job messed him up. He got a job. Can kill a horse. I advise learning Musar. Gershon Lehman was once in a terrible machlokes where everybody said there was no question who's right and who's wrong. Gershon was right, it was pashut. And he wasn't part of it. Somebody was doing things that weren't so appropriate towards Reb Gershon. Whatever he was doing. Reb Gershon told me, first of all, he talks about the other party. He's such a good person. How could he do this? He's so good. I mean, Reb Gershon was a person who saw through what is really motivating you. Covered here, covered there. He was full of that stuff. He didn't say that. He's such a tight element. How could he do so? This is his adverse. The guy that wants to, whatever. So then he told me, then he starts smiling, and he's rolling. He's always rolling, always laughing. He said, I just have to straighten myself out. That's all it takes. Do you know that? And it's true. Just straighten yourself out. Who cares what your wife looks like, what she says? Who cares what your kid and your shiver? You have a burning issue to tolerate things you don't like. If you think you came to this world without having people in your life that you can't stand and get on your nerves, forget it. You belong with the malachim and Shemayim. What's the purpose? You're here dafka for that. You must have an issue, or else if you don't have a stress situation, either through people, through money, through whatever it is, it's over. You're not worth nothing. You came to this world to go to war against your own needs, not to get upset, not to get excited, not to get worried. You came for that. And what do I say? I'll tell you what I say. People call me up, a lot of people calling me about anxiety. I have a siyata d'shmaya. I give a bracha, no more anxiety, and watch for the next day. It's a new matzah. Be'ezer Hashem, having siyata d'shmaya. Anxiety, rampant. The whole world's into that. And I want to tell you, I tell people, what's wrong with anxiety? But it's terrible. What's terrible? I happen to have anxiety. That's great. I like having anxiety. Say it. You say it enough times. First, either you'll learn how to tolerate it, or it'll disappear. Because it's not fighting you. You're always fighting it. I'm not supposed to be anxiety. You ever see guys fighting for smiles? I know a younger man. Did he have Gehenna? Because they used to chopper in the family. You're not smiling. You're not smiling. That's why he wasn't smiling. Everything I do is no good. You smile even less. You're inside your own. So you try to smile. And smile. You're not smiling. You have to work on ours upon him. You can't be like that. They're killing him right there. The more they tell him, you have to smile, you have to smile. It's not right. It's not right. It's a barbishis harabim. Yeah, it's a real from avod. That's a nice barbishis harabim. Because that's a nice, now you could really kill a guy by telling him, barbishis harabim. Barbishis, you can't do that. It's a ganze pshetel over there. Now you got some lambda also. You don't just kill the guy, you kill him with a lambdas. Make him feel like, oh, barbishis harabim, people see this and they don't like it. I'm one of the big promoters of atzvas. My belief, I told you, Mr. Shem, next week, the year months, I'm going to give out pro-depressants. No more antidepressants. Be depressed. So what? I'm depressed. Get lost. I don't smile. What do you want from me? Leave me alone. Smiling is a redifas hakavod. Mendel, what did he say? That's Mendel. Please don't turn him on. I don't want my son listening to Rabbi Mendel. He says it's good not to smile. This guy's off. It's good to be tzibrochen. It's good to be broken and to be depressed. Well, this guy's crazy. This guy's nuts. Yes, I'll repeat it for all those that don't like it. I want them dafka to hear it. I need a prat over here. You know how many Hasidim thanked me the last time I said that? They're walking the street to Hasidim. Mendel, you saved my life. They have a lot of pressure to be b'simcha. They're all day long. But I was on b'simcha. By the way, I agree. I have a lot of Hasidic roots. I have a lot, and Novandig and Hasidus get along beautiful. They're similar. Not stop. We believe simcha. They have ways of getting simcha. It's not negaya. You have to, of course, you got to be b'simcha. You crazy? You got to be b'simcha. You got to work on it. It's gewaldig. But let's say it's not happening. So bi'alev nishbar. You know what the Breslovers say? Reb Zisha Shtitzer, one of the big Breslovers of Yerushalayim, told me that Breslov believes, or at least his Kabbalah Sfarim say, a broken heart is better than simcha. All right? Then I calm down. Millions of people, I want everyone to hear that. A broken heart, it's good you have that peckle, your broken heart. Have a broken heart. You know what Rav Shach said? The reason why Yaakov sent the Shvachis, but the Shvachis first, they got broken hearts. They come from the Shvachis. That's how you win the war. You know, Mendel said it was Muhammad Rav Shach, and I said a different mother. I said, when they went to war, what did they take? They brought the Yarin Kodesh with them. Well, which luchais did they bring? The broken ones, or the broken ones went to battle. The full ones stayed home. You want to win? Take the broken luchais. Yeah, with the Aveira, with the Yegel. I don't care. It's broken. We're going to win. You're broken? Anybody that's broken. What did the Kotzker Rebbe say? I'll heard from Shalom Shurjum must have heard correctly. If you have a broken heart, if you don't have one, Sivza, throw them out of here. You don't have a broken heart, get lost. You're not part of the world. A broken heart. The Kotzker Rebbe, he never saw anything as whole as a broken heart. The Kotzker Rebbe. Good like that. All your peklach are breaking you. That's good. You'll have a broken heart. Do you know that? Yerushalayim Yankov once said, they see the neshamas of people who had a good life. A lot of people have it easier than others. How come so many people have peklach? You know why? Because before they're born, they see the neshamas of people who just died. And they see the faces of those who had no peklach. They had an easy life. And their faces look so horrible, they say, please, Eibishter, make me one of the others with the peklach. Give me a nice feta peckle, a nasty wife, nasty kids, financial problems, stress. That would be gorgevaldi. Inborn, like, you don't even need people to make it. You're nervous as is. You make me one of those, depressive, a shivering like you're asking for it. The Kadakemach says this. I think it's a Kadakemach. A Rishon says it. Rebecca. That's a Kadakemach. He says it. What? Wherever he says that. He says, you picked it. You don't like your peckle, huh? You picked it. In the world of truth, you said, give me exactly that. No, this peckle. Exactly for me. But this is in this world. Look what the guy goes through. They kill you, your friends. When they sympathize with you, they're killing you. Oh, what you never go through. Yes. Oh, how do I live with this? Oh, I don't want to live anymore. Many people tell me that. You want to hear a true story? 10 years ago, I promise you it's a true story. I went to the chasana of one of the most chashuva people I know. They really have the best kids. Everybody envies them. They got the most chashuva. The kids are all Rosh Yeshivas. They're all great people. Lovely people, tzaddikim. And they did a shidduch. Before I walked into the hall, they gave me a zog. Boy, did they get a shidduch. I promise you it's a true story. As soon as I walked in, I don't know the Mechudim, but people know me. They all saw me. They know my jokes. It's terrible. I can't, my personality is like, oh, Mendel, you want to tell me that joke? I heard that from you a long time ago. It's old stuff. So I lost my whole, they all know me. I heard that joke already. That's old. Everybody knows it. You said it on Torah anytime 5 years ago. Anyway, it's old stuff. Anyway, so I have trouble, Anyway, so they know me. So this guy, I don't know him. He comes up to me. The Mechudim, they told me about this Mechudim. They got themselves a shidduch. The Mechudim is something else. A tzaddik, a sweetie, a this, a that. And they are known already. I promise you it's a true story. As soon as I walked in, within 5 minutes, the Mechudim got up to Zadachasana. Mechudim got up, walked over to me. He had a nice smile. He looked very presentable, very chashuv. And he told me, oh, Mendel, you're the guy that's, knows about peklach. And he told me his pekel. I'm not going to say what it was. Mendel, I'm ready to jump off the roof. That's 5 minutes after I came in, ready. I was all into that Mechudim. And I'm ready to make a prat, go over to him to show you're not scared, because he's boom, boom, boom. I just heard it 5 minutes later. The same guy walks over to me. I says, is that you? And I asked him, they say you're big. He said, I know what they say about me, but that's the situation. I'm ready to jump off the roof. Did you hear that? Next time you have envy, remember, envy is ignorance. Throw the whole sugya of envy into the garbage. It's such a waste of time and energy. Don't be envious. You know what's going on by Yana. The better impression he gives, the bigger problems he has. Don't be envy, not his money, not his car, not his kids, not his... Laws up. I like what I have. Hashem gave it to me. I touched the carbon pesach. It's got to be roasted. It gets small, and it's roasted. It gets smaller and smaller, but it's it. Everything's in there. I got it all. That's a carbon pesach. Tzli eish. Why is it roasted? I got it all. Ala soiva. That's a remez. I got everything. Like Yaakov said, Yeshli koil. I got everything. Bashal mavushal mamayim. No good. Cooked, adding other stuff and expanding. I don't want that stuff. It's puzzle. Even no, which is half cooked, no good. Because Esav said Yeshli koil. I got a lot. No good. Yaakov said Yeshli koil. I got everything. When you roast that carbon pesach, let it get small. I don't care, but it's all me. It's all I want. It's all I need. Allah soivan. That's also remez. Full. I have my delicious carbon pesach, and it's dark. It's black, which is anova. The Onov doesn't look, ooh, he's doing better, he's adding water and pachas kamayim. I like what I am. And I'm going to roast again and again over the fire. A little fire don't hurt. And Avodah Hashem. I roast again and again. That's all I want, me. You sit home all day and roast over whatever you got. Don't get involved in that stupid neighbor. But he has it, this, he has that. Don't get near him in your mind. I have everything. Yes, I have that kid that's a little like this. Perfect for me. I like it. But I don't, I like it. Say you do. I like everything Hashem gives me. I love it. Eat that carbon pesach with gusto. The time of Gan Eden. Chazal say he was in the carbon. You know why? That's Gan Eden. Samech b'chelkai. That's, but you know, Gan Eden screams at Shema Yisrael. Gan Eden screams and says, give me tzaddikim, not rishoyim. Which tzaddikim are boitzchem b'shmecha? I want people who have b'tachon. Gan Eden talking, unquote. Gan Eden has an opinion. Gan Eden wants Bali b'tachon, satisfied customers. Carbon pesachs. I like what I don't care, but you're such a quiet guy. You can't even open your mouth. I like being quiet. Get lost. But, we're doing so well in business and with your wife and with you. I like not doing so well in business. I like that. But you have chayvus. I like having chayvus. But you don't really learn enough. Okay, try to learn more. But in the meantime, I like being this halba Talmud Chacham that I wish I could be better. I like that state. As is condition. I like as is condition. I don't want to, says the Heilige Chavetz Chaim, Where you're standing is holy. I like where I am. I'm a little bit... There's a lot missing. I like a lot missing. It's exactly what I want. A lot missing. I like it. I like a lot missing. Even Ruchnius. The Vilna Gaon brings down a Tadav Yo. A person has to be Sameach B'chalka even in Ruchnius. Even in Ruchnius. You gotta watch yourself. You're a lot of improving. Gonna kill you. You're allowed to finish the other half. You're supposed to work in yourself a little bit. But sometimes I kind of the Ikka Avoida. Sameach B'chalka. You grow in Sameach B'chalka. Maybe you shouldn't learn another blot and spend some time thanking Hashem that you're able to walk into Beis Medrash. I walked into Beis Medrash. I have a charusa. I said this. I said, I'm going to certainly learn now. I'm going to get schar for this? It doesn't make sense. That's one of my big kashas on, it's a Tarachi and Gala. Come at Beis Medrash. You know that learning Torah lowers your blood pressure? Do you know that? It's a fact. Learn Torah, learn. You know what the Steibler told somebody? I just heard about it. This guy wanted to become a millionaire. He gave some money to, I heard it to Rav Sorotsky. Gave a few thousands of dollars. And he says, I want a bracha from the Steibler, from Chaim Kanevsky, that I should become a billionaire, much, much more rich. Chaim Kanevsky told him, 5 blot a day and you're rich. So the guy was told 5. So they call back him. He is a Ben Torah, but not that much of a Ben Torah. Chaim said, okay, fine, 5 blot a week. 5 blot a week. He got up 4:30 in the morning. He worked like a horse. Chaim said, you become a bit, and he became rich like crazy. Chaim's bracha. You want to get rich? Learn more. Anybody interested in making money? Another hour of learning. And watch the money roll in. You know what it says about learning Torah? Forget about Musa. Musa, ho, ho, ho. Chaim, I don't remember Chaim saying learn Musa. A black Gemara. No, chas v'chalila. I mean Musa. I'm here for Musa, B'yika. But let's say, all right, you're not so Musa-oriented. A black Gemara is delicious. The Alderman Slobodka once saved a Bacha's life by getting a Zaylim to learn an extra half hour. It's Thursday. The doctor said this man's dead. A Bach in Yeshiva, the Alter was going crazy. He got the Yom together tomorrow, want everybody to learn an extra half hour. And that for that boy. They learned the half hour, the boy got up, was Tchias HaMesa. And he quoted the Taz. The Taz are famous. He brought down Ruach Chaim Elojin Sefer on Avos. Brings on a story, but the Taz. A lady came running, the Taz, the Rebbe, my son's half dead. Do something for him. Taz says, what do you want from me? Taz wasn't the Rebbe by Stois. He wasn't a Rebbe, would have said, no, or I would have saved him in a second. I'm joking. So Taz says, what do you want? What do you want from me? Said the Taz. I want your Torah. All right. The last 2 weeks I was harboring a sugya. It's for him. She came home. The kid was back to normal. The Alderman Slobodka told this story to his whole yeshiva, and he said, you see, we're going to save him with learning Torah. How's that? That's something. Learning Torah. Well, if you're machshavet, I want to warn you, this is my favorite Rav Shulchan Aruch in Hilchos Birkas HaTorah. And he says this. He quotes the Heilige Ran. Shall I reason for the Chorban Beis HaMikdash leBaruch HaBaTorah Tchila? They didn't make a bracha. What's wrong with not making a bracha on Torah? Because it means you're not machshav your Torah. So Torah didn't save you. If they're making a bracha means respect your Torah. But my learning is not the real learning. I don't really learn the way the Lumdim learn, or I didn't really finish the Masechta. I'm really lazy and my head's flying in the middle. And you are machshav your Torah. It's going to save you from the worst things. Give respect to your Torah, not the other guy, yours. But I don't learn so much. Hashem likes your Torah. The pain that you have for the time that you're not learning. You think that pain is a joke? You know how much schar you're going to get for that pain? Now, don't look for more pain. Look to learn more if you can. What if it's not happening? I have a doctor, a friend of mine. Yeah, I don't have a doctor, but I have a doctor in Shemayim. But a friend of mine, he's a sweetie. He begged me I should daven that he should learn more because he's busy all day answering phone calls. People's peklach, they're all calling him up all day. And he wants to learn. I gave him a bracha and Baruch Hashem. And he begged me, I want to learn more. Take a look at him, how much schar he's getting for begging for more Torah. How much schar a person. I want to tell you something. I'm going to drop an atomic bomb right now. It was worth coming here to hear this. I have some people who come over to me for serious Kedusha issues. Some of them can't help it. Usually none of them. They all, whatever happened, that's the matzah. They can't. It's hard. They muchazach and they want. I remember this certain man. I wish I had more Kedusha. It bothers him and he's stuck in whatever he is. I just told this to somebody recently. I says, my dear friend, you could be one of those on top who's never nichshel in anything. And by the way, aim for it. Well, I'm going to try and be mefias you, but aim for it. You keep davening. I know people who overcame. There are people, I know case histories. People have the worst addictions in Yoni Kedusha. Today, they're clear. They feel like $1 million. I had somebody come from Staten Island to tell me, he came and sat right there. Rabbi Mendel, he wasn't really from when he was younger, and he was nechshel and everything. And I decided, I don't like that stuff. And he was determined. He said, today I'm as clear as could be. He told me to. Another guy I heard about, they have groups that get together to help him. They pay you money to help him. Anyway, I know stories of people that are mamish. You can't be overcome. Don't give me addiction, Mises. You can't, look, while you got the addiction. This guy just called me up. I said, now listen closely. 8 members of the Shvatim came from the Mama Leah. Now, the Mama Leah, let's define her. Let's compare her to Rachel. You know, the Sephardim says that Rachel was a bigger tzaddikus than Leah. You know that. That's why Yaakov wanted Rachel. And Leah cried. Now, Leah, it says, Vateitze Dina Bas Leah. It seems Dina wasn't as perfect. We don't understand. She had more tznius than any Jewish woman in the universe who understands the Mama Leah tzaddikus gemura. But Rachel was somewhat better in that sugya, especially because it says Vateitze Dina Bas Leah. She went out to see Bas Leah to show Leah was also that a little bit over there, not so. So here's a lady that's not so. And what is she doing with her life? Crying her eyes out to join Yaakov, to be part, not Esav. I know I have a little bit of that, but I don't want to be there. I want to be in that direction. And then you got Rachel, who's got it. So who was the one that became the mother of the lion's share of Klal Yisrael? The lady that cried her eyes out, I want to be better. Those tears created Klal Yisrael. The tears of a person that wasn't and was trying and begging to be better, that's the whole Klal Yisrael. How do you like that one? Isn't that an atomic bomb? The Eibishter himself gave me. That's an atomic. Am I right? That's not shayach. She is what I'll prove it to you all over the place. Yismach le mavakshe Hashem. What's this mavakesh? Find them. No. Motzasi mavakesh emuna va'eslach choli. The man that's really, he's not about b'tachon. You're baloney. You're a nervous wreck. You listen to Mendel, but you don't really change. You're the same kook. You come home, you're still nervous with your wife and with the bills, and you're still the same sugar as always. You're nobody, huh? It might be a big in you to stay just the way you are. Because it's Kodesh Kodashim. Hashem likes the ratzin, the will, the wanting. I want to be better. That's everything. You're there. You made it. You made it. Working on b'tachon is everything. Worked. I think I spoke enough. It's 9/11. Come on. You guys are such good listeners. I want to give everybody, a doctor? What do you call a therapist? What do you give when you guys should all be therapists. You are such good listeners. I'd like to talk another 10 years. They listen well. They make an old man like me feel good. Like, I need this. The cover that makes all these smiling faces. I know for sure the most chashuva people in Gans Lakewood are here. There's no question in my mind. By the way, it's not a joke when I say that. You know, the Rambam says he'd rather teach Emuna than anything else. You know that? we're learning Amuna. That's a joke? Oh. And when I told you, Shalei Baruch HaB'Torah Tchiv, they weren't machshav the Torah, so the Torah don't help. You got to be machshav what you're doing. The more you machshav it, well, before you come here, you can go to the mikveh if you want. I would consider it appropriate. You know what you're doing? You know, you tell your wife, you know where I'm going. Like it's Yom Kippur. You know what it is to look for the Eibishter. How does he feel? I'm looking. We want to get closer. It's hard for us. We're only human, Eibishter. I say that plenty. Eibishter, I'm just human. Understand me. I do that plenty. I say that. Don't worry, they work. Hashem loves that stuff. Chap a schmooze with him. Make him your friend. Yedid nefesh avarachamon. You want to sing? Yedid nefesh avarachmon avarachamon mishaych avdecha el retzaynech el retzaynech ayar etzavdecha kema yayav kema yayav yishtachaveh El Moladarecho, El Moladarecho, Ayerav Loi, Yedidai Secha, Meinai Besa Becha, Voltovam, Ayhodono, Zivoilam, Nafshi Chaylas, Ahavazecho, Oh no, El Nor, Papa Novala, Be'arais Lava, Nayama, Isaiah, Baba, Artis Chazay, Mrs. Rappe, Voisalas of Rasavoilum, Ivasi Gamuna, Rachamecha, Bechusana, Albeinahu Bechum, Aikizekamo, Nisaba Babakti, I let I Bisafana Suzach, Bisafana Suzach, Elecham Dalibi, Bechusana Bababial, Tisavali, He Galen Allah, Uprise Chabibi, Allah, Hazukas, Shalom, V'may tayeretz, I mech v'ydemecha, the love and his mabach. I manay, kiva moyek, da 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 da. Da 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 da, aha da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Ma'ayivamayei v'chavoneh b'baynomo aikimei avo. This is Reb Aaron Karlina's Ka'esek, right? I'm telling you that niggin comes straight from the Kisei HaKavod. I'm not the only one that said that. And you know who made it up, Reb Aaron? You don't have to be a Stoliner. I happen to have Stoliner in Einklach. Oh, they're going to be so proud of me when they find out what I just said. That I need this for my family, so that's good stuff for me. Anyway, my Einklach. It's not easy because whenever I get the phone with them and I speak English, I say, Zaidi, no good. You're not for that in Yiddish. Oh, so I have to behave myself. I have a Chassidish Einklach. I got to speak Yiddish. Anyway, everybody should have Yeshua's Gemulas. And the schus of singing such a Haley and Niggin should bring the Gula Shalema, and all the pekach should go in the garbage. Your kipekal, all the garbage, a new world should open up. It's charged the Shalach. This is the week that by the 6th, by the Gulf War. This is the weeks of Shmois Va'era by Beshalach. This was the week when Saddam Hussein Yamach Shemo, you called himself a Gilgal and Ruchanetza, and I hold he was right. I have riots that is true. I match him with Melucha, and that's the exact same, whatever. And he said, anyway, he was sent 39 scuds against, you remember what happened? And America said, we're going to fight you, and everybody left. America, the paper tiger, they just got into a mess with Vietnam. They were messing up all over the place. And no one believed with a democratic Congress, you're not going to war. And Nishim Gluyim, they went to war. And this week, Hashem Ilachem Lachem Atem, the Israeli pilots are waiting to go to war against the Israeli pilots. They're good pilots. I'm very happy you're good pilots. They shoot down an Israeli. You know what service he's going to get? Yamach Shemam, what they do to. So we're going to war. And President Senior Bush, he was an anti-Semite, by the way. He helped us more than anybody. Nothing like a good old anti-Semite. He saved all the Jews. He was the one that said, quiet Jews, keep out. Shem Yilachem Lachem. Attempt Am Hashem Shliach, Bush, the anti-Semite. And you don't have to go to war. And he got a whole coalition, a whole bunch of chaver. He got England, Italy, France, Saudi Arabia to show even the Arabs are going to fight Iraq. And let's free Kuwait against, and they went to war. It was these weeks, and we used to follow, and every week fit in. So what Rav Nosson said, it was the biggest nest since Nest Purim. It's a mitzvah to talk about it. The Gulf War with Nisim, the Abish, nobody was killed. That was my tefillah, so I take credit for that. There was one guy, Machal Shabbat Fahasia, who got a skila, a whole story, but otherwise, nobody was killed. That was my tefillah, but I want everybody to be Megala to the Rabbim. Who was the one that saved whole Klal Yisrael during the Gulf War? Not one Yid was killed. You know that? You know that? It was unbelievable. He sent 39 scuds, and they exploded, and houses were smashed, and there's a picture in the Yated with a head sticking out from the rubble. And they took him out. He was in perfect shape. One after another. Like the guy just walked out. Nothing happened. Nisim and Nisim and Nisim and Nisim and Nisim. They say 100,000 Yidden went to the Kersel Dam. You expect anything different than Nisim Gulim. And anyway, especially Mandel's tefillas. And I got the exact nusach I have for this one. I was so proud of myself. I still hold that it was me that saved God's Klal Yisrael during the Gulf War until I found there was a Rebbe in Los Angeles. Somebody witnessed as he was davening, Eibishter, please, nobody should get hurt. So that busted my bubble. I'm joking. It's okay. It's all, and it's the Eibishter anyway. What kind of credit you gonna take here? Yeshua is to believe in the power of these weeks. Believe it, and you'll have